Hello, I'm Leigh, and this is Nerva Beacon Podcast.
It is Nerva Beacon Podcast. Hello, I am Glenn. Welcome to Nerva Beacon. Regular viewers back to the 80s know my voice. Mm-hmm. They know my voice, but they don't know yours, Leigh. Who are you, Leigh?
I don't know where to start. I'm just this crazy person who loves Doctor Who an awful lot.
And has known me for nigh on 11 years.
11 years? Bloody
11. About 2006 we first met.
Yeah.
On a web, we met on a web board, and we both had Doctor Who avatars. And I think you were called Romana Tilunda at that point, weren't you?
Yes.
And I was called the Doctor. And it's like, yeah, we should really start talking to each other because, you know. And it was the fact that it was Destiny of the Daleks Romana as well. It was Lala Ward. I thought, yeah, this person's quite cool, and they actually know about Doctor Who and not just, oh, I really fancy David Tennant. Which at that point was a thing.
Yes, it was. And, it was the worst thing ever at the time.
Oh yeah, it still is. You still get fans now saying, yeah, I don't think Peter Capaldi's fit. It's like, oh God, I think when he goes and Chris Marshall goes, that's the other thing that I'm hating at the moment. Is that if it is Chris Marshall, I'm leaving. I'm never watching again. Well, good. We don't want you.
Yeah, but I don't like Chris Marshall.
I'm indifferent to him. Let's face it, I think everybody's pretty certain it's going to be him at this point.
Yeah, there was another name called, I can't remember what it was.
Pretty boy, the one. He's a proper pretty boy with no personality as far as I can tell. He's off Game of Thrones or some bollocks. No thanks. I don't care if they're pretty, I just want someone with personality, because David Tennant was pretty, but he's weird, so...
Yeah, Matt Smith was pretty.
Yeah. Kind of. He's distinctive, though. He's distinctive. And a lot of people find Peter Capaldi very pretty.
Yes, he is.
Yes, yeah. I know a lot of ladies who like. But anyway. So, yeah, I guess we should sort of state what our credentials are regarding Who. So, I mean, what brought you to Doctor Who first, there, Leigh? What's your sort of earliest memory?
The Keeper of Traken.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it before. My whole family's crazy about Doctor Who, and every Saturday tea time I'd be sitting on my granddad's knee and he'd be bouncing his leg up and down to the theme, and then it would start. And there was, in that particular episode where Cassie has got their eyes painted on her eyelids, I'm like, oh fucking hell! Well, I was like that as a kid, but I was like terrified. And then the statue in the garden, the Melchior, when that moved. It turned out that was the Master's TARDIS.
Yeah.
Terrifying, that, to a 3-4-year-old kid.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I saw that the other week at the Doctor Who Experience, Melka. It's not aged well. It's in this sort of... it's in the process of being restored a bit. But yeah, it still freaks me out that that's the Master's TARDIS and it moved and stuff.
Yes, it was scary. I don't think I've been able to watch that one since. Fully, I've been able to watch it, but it was just the one that's really terrified me.
Plus, Jeffrey Beaver's terrifying as well.
Yes.
He was a good master.
Yes. And then the next one from that I can remember was Kinder.
Oh.
Coming off Tegan's arm.
Yes.
But I've seen most episodes in between of all the old Doctors anyway, or the ones that I've found.
Yeah. Kinder, that's a good one. Only thing that freaks me out about Kinder is Adrian Mills is in it, and I just think that's life.
Isn't that the one with what's his name? Martin Clune's in.
Oh, Snake Dance. I think I was thinking of Snake Dance then.
Yeah.
Snake Dance is just like the sequel to Kinder, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all the Mara.
Yeah, big scary snake thing.
That's got Liz Sladen's husband in it as well, hasn't it?
Has it?
Snake Dance does. Yeah, you know Doug Dale, the character of Doug Dale? That's her husband, who was also in Deep Breath. Mm-hmm. The Capaldi first one. So yeah. It's all connected.
Yes,
it's all triangles, Illuminati confirmed and all that. For me, first memory, never mind first memory of Who is my first memory. It's City of Death Part 1, the end. When Scaroth, or so should I say, Count Scarleone, takes off his mask.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Revealing Scaroth. I was like 2.5, and it was like. Not sleeping for a week, thank you very much. Now, obviously, I've seen City of Death since, and it's like... You can see the actor's nose.
Tiny.
Oh, yeah, when you're 2 years old and all this is real. Come on, now. You mean it's not real? But, yeah, absolutely. Like, that is my first conscious memory of anything.
I remember when my twin brothers were tiny. It was Resurrection of the Daleks.
Oh, the Davison one.
Yeah, the Davison one. Yeah, when they came on the screen screaming exterminate, both my twin brothers, they just ran behind the sofa crying, literally hiding behind the sofa, crying their eyes out, terrified. I think they must have been about 3 at the time, and I'm about 7 or 8. And
yeah.
So I'm laughing at them. My Daleks aren't real, and they go, yes they are.
I think that's got one of the highest body counts in media history, is Resurrection.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculously high body count. It's like, that's amazing. I love it when Doctor Who does that, or when they have just episodes or serial stories that everybody dies. Just like the Doctor and his companion will survive, everybody else you meet is going to die.
Yeah, they're good ones. Oh,
Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah, Horror of Fang Rock.
It's like literally everybody dies. It's great.
That one's like Christie in Space. That one.
Yeah. And the really annoying woman dies. I'm sure we'll come back to that at some point, because that's kind of what we're going to do on this show, is sort of episode recaps and things like that. But yeah, she deserved to die because she's fucking annoying. I watched it the other day and thinking, stop screaming, woman! And like Leela threatens to kill her twice.
Yeah.
But I love Leela. She's great. She threatens to kill people. It's brilliant. Excellent stuff. Favourite Doctor?
Oh God, all of them. 2, 6, 12, 11, yeah, all of them really. There's no particular favourite, no particular dislike.
There's only one I dislike, and it's more to do with the actor than the Doctor. It's 9.
Eccleston.
I just can't. I find it hard to detach myself from the fact that in reality he is a complete douche canoe, and didn't want to do it, and clearly didn't want to do it. He's obviously doing it as a favour.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we know now that Russell T Davies didn't really want Eccleston in the first place anyway. He wanted Tennant straight away.
Yeah.
But the B basically said, nope, we need a name. It's like, oh, okay then. How about Christopher Eccleston?
Actor with gravitas.
Yeah, because like Tennant don't have any gravitas, and he's not a bigger star than Eccleston ever will be at this point, you know. Oh, hang on a minute, yes he is. But he's the only one I find it. I've never really revisited that series.
Oh, I have when I introduced Scott back into Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the first episode I made him watch was Tennant's final episode.
I don't want to go.
Yeah. He's going, this is a load of shit, woman. I'm going, no, it's not. It's brilliant. And then when Matt Smith came along, he was, this is the Doctor. And then so went from there, getting him into it. And he quite likes all of the Doctors, really.
And yet I remember when Smith was announced and everybody just had the howls of derision. It's fucking Twilight! And it turns out he's like everybody's favourite Doctor at this point, pretty much.
Pretty much 2 in a younger body.
Yeah. Well, they sort of made that very clear in Victory of the Daleks when he says, this is the end, the final end. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah. They know what they're doing. But no, I'd like to say that, Nine's the only one I've sort of not revisited. I'm not Rosie's biggest fan, because basically she is Russell T Davies. And I'm just not Nine's biggest fan. I don't mind some of the episodes, they are okay, but I just find him a bit... Oh, I don't know. And apparently he was very method on set as well. Yeah,
they did try to get him back for the Day of the Doctor, but that's how we ended up with the War Doctor instead.
Yeah, he flat out refused, apparently. He sent an email back as quick as you can send an email back saying, no, thank you. To be fair, I'm kind of glad. Because I like the War Doctor.
Yeah.
And you got... John Hurt was the Doctor. Yeah, I get to say that.
Yes.
Which is very cool. And I was watching it the other day, actually, Day of the Doctor. I'm thinking, I really like the War Doctor. He's such a great character. It's a scientific instrument!
Wish they'd done more with 8, though. They could have easily done Day of the Doctor with 8.
Oh, that would have been good, because Night of the Doctor was great.
Yeah.
Especially, he did that thing where I love where he's sort of soft-spoken and he gets suddenly angry where they're like, get out! Get out!
Yes.
I love that about 8. He just gets like, he's really soft-spoken, sort of, not timid, but almost passive, and then he gets angry and he's like, oh no, you made him angry.
Yes. Hulk Doctor.
Yeah, he's terrifying, is Paul McGann when he gets angry. I've listened to a lot of the audios with him in it, and he's great. Yeah. Speaking of the audios, if you get the chance, anybody who's listening, please listen to them. They're brilliant, especially Tom Baker's 4th Doctor ones that he's done. Yeah. Because it's like, for the longest time, we'd have nothing to do with Doctor Who because of John Nathan Turner, I'm guessing. We'll get onto him at some point, I'm sure. But
yes, uniforms,
doable barkers.
Yes.
Question marks everywhere.
Yeah.
Never mind. That whole we actually did a whole episode on Back to the 80s. Last recording that we did, it's not out yet, but the last recording we did about the 80s, and it's just the politics is sometimes more interesting than the actual shows themselves at that point.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of lies, especially from John Nathan Turner, about the fact that I fought for the show so much. Dude, you tried to leave at least 3 times. But realised that if you left, then you wouldn't get any money from the BBC whatsoever. Yeah. And then in the 90s said, I fought for the show. Did you?
And there wasn't really anybody else who wanted to do it by that point.
No, well, it'd become this sort of poison chalice, hasn't it?
Yeah.
By that point, because of people like Michael Gray and Jonathan Powell, and Jonathan Powell, of course, went on to do El Dorado. That worked out well for him.
Oh yes, it didn't it?
And then he was on the board with Carlton Television with David Cameron. So he's one of David Cameron's mates. So, you know.
Yeah, oh well, never mind.
Says it all. Brilliant. But, okay. Favourite Doctor. Oh, I should do mine, really. I do like 4. I do like 3. I love 11. And 12. I really like 12. And 6. 6 is probably... If I had to pick a story, I probably would pick a 6 story.
Vengeance on Varos.
I love Vengeance on Varos, even with Jason Connery's shoddy acting. And it is the worst. I mean, there are some bad actors in Vengeance on Varos.
Oh yeah,
but
there were a lot of bad actors in that era. I felt so sorry for Colin Baker with those terrible stories.
Some of them were really like the 2 Doctors. I sort of could have. Thing about 2 Doctors, it could have been great had it been an episode less.
Yes.
It's just it drags.
Yeah, it does.
There's so much running about because basically they were on a jolly to Seville.
Yeah.
Jasmine
Pierce, oh god, she's brilliant.
She's just playing Servalan.
Yeah.
Because basically she plays Servalan.
Ham horror films, yeah. You see a lot of Ham background coming through.
I do like the guy who plays Shockeye as well.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great. Oscar, obviously. I can never remember the actor's name, but he was great. He was in everything. He was on like Poirot like a million times as well. Speaking of Poirot, obviously David Suchet's been in it. Captain Hastings has been in an audio one where he played Drax, which is great. It was brilliant. It's just like, dude, that's Captain Hastings. That's amazing. So you got Captain Hastings, Ray Brooks, and John Chalice in the same audio drama. It's like fucking Boise's back. Excellent. And he basically played Boise. It was great.
I'll have to listen to that one.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I won't spoil it for you, but it is great. The Trouble with Drax, I think it's called. It's great. And that's Drax from the Armageddon Factor.
Yeah.
It was cool. And obviously John Chalice played Scorby in The Seeds of Doom.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favourites.
Oh, that terrified us when I was a kid as well, when they used to repeat it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be turned into a plant.
I'll say the Crinoid's actually pretty scary. It's like the Wirren in the Ark in Space as well, where we get our name from, basically, on this podcast. The Wirren as well. Anything that sort of you get transformed into.
Yes, body horror.
There's body horror, and then there's chucking away of characters, just like not giving a shit, like Thea Ransom in Image of the Vendar. It's like, couldn't give a fuck about her like halfway through the second episode. By Benedict Cumberbatch. I was actually reading up on that. That was her first acting job after giving birth to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, lovely. So
feasibly, he was on the set. I like to think he was.
Yeah, he probably will have been.
I like to think that he was part of the Fendel. That was great. But yes, I do like some especially early Fourth Doctor, when it went all gothic horror-y.
Yes, Philip Hinchcliffe era.
Yeah, it's great. Because as much as I love the Third Doctor, I think at the end he was becoming a bit too establishment.
Yes, very action money.
Yeah, it was basically James Bond.
Yeah.
Which I have absolutely no problem with, but I think the mystique had been lost a bit by that point, and we needed it back. But that's kind of common at the end of every Doctor.
Yeah.
Apart from 6, because he never really got a proper end.
No.
His
end was a bit rubbish. Carrot juice.
And then he banged his head. Apparently. Although they have tried to sort of retcon that a few times. Spiral Scratch, if you've not read the novel, that kind of tries to give him a proper end. And there's a Big Finish audio as well. I forget which one, but that tries to do it as well.
Yeah.
And then there was a suggestion in the New Adventures that Seven had killed him.
Yeah, I remember that.
So Seven went back in time to try and kill the Sixth Doctor to make sure that the Valiard didn't come to be.
Yeah.
They do need to bring the Valiard back.
They have him in the audios, haven't they?
Yeah, he was in one of the Unbounds, I think.
Yes, he jests at scars. I loved that one.
He just destroys the universe and then thinks, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and then Mel comes to save the day.
Yeah. Weird. But yeah, they should bring it back. They have mentioned it, but I think Great Intelligence mentioned the 11th Doctor would one day be called the Valiard.
Yeah.
And they kind of teased it with the Dream Lord as well.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant actor. Everything I've seen him in.
He's great, and even Dobby the House Elf, Toby Jones, is great. But he was good in the last season of Sherlock as well.
Yes. Did you see that series he was in, The Detectorists?
No, that was the one with Mackenzie Crook, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to watch that. That just starts off feeling a bit cringy, then you start recognising the areas of Suffolk and that they're in, and then Wales, and you're like, oh yes, and then all of a sudden it just suddenly becomes hilarious with all the arguments between all the different detectorists.
Oh, cool. I shall definitely have to check that out then, because it is Toby Jones and I do love him. He was even the best thing in Dad's Army, which I thought was going to suck, and kind of it was okay in the end, but purely and simply because of the people who were in it. But not that I go watch it again, because I wouldn't. I've seen it once and that's more than enough. Thank you very much. Oh, cool. Favourite companion?
Amy Pond.
Yeah?
Yes. Amy and Rory, definitely.
Yeah?
Their send-off was absolute best, and yeah, I did have a bit of a cry.
Cool. Well, not that you cried, obviously, but that you liked them. Yeah, they did get a pretty conclusive end as well. You can never go back and see them. You will never see them again.
Yeah.
Kind of. But then not. She's off being all famous, isn't she? So, in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's kind of a Time Lord himself now in Heroes of Tomorrow.
Yes.
But there you go. I like those two as well. So,
Terminator, if that series had rebooted properly.
Yeah. Definitely. Sarah Jane, I think, probably would be mine.
Yeah, Sarah Jane.
I do like Sarah Jane. She was sort of the quintessential companion, and I know they made this big thing of like sort of Rose and the Doctor. Oh, they're in love and they're banging, and quite clearly. And nah, Sarah Jane he was though.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, he was Sarah Jane, and Joe Grant before that probably.
Yeah. Probably.
Well,
like when she fucked off to get married.
Well, that's the reason she left to get married is because in real life they were allegedly banging, and that's why she had to leave. Apparently, allegedly. But yeah, they would, as characters, they were totally doing it, and the Doctor and Sarah Jane completely doing it.
Yeah,
absolutely, no doubt about it. But yeah, love that. Love Sarah Jane. And she did get a conclusive ending as well, eventually, which was good.
Yeah.
Well, it's like School Reunion was the one that brought it all together, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because
Adventures.
Yeah, because I think before that, if you look at the sort of the season before that, and that they didn't really want to mention Classic Who.
No, they didn't.
I think RTD didn't want it at all. And then
which was weird because in every programme that he produced and wrote before Doctor Who, he was just practically stuffed to the gills with it.
That's because he's a massive fan. Apparently, he's
K9 in the middle of what's it called? Queer as Folk.
Yeah. Oh, that's because he's a massive fan, and he was on all the forums, and you'll never find him posting, but he was on all the forums, and he knows everything about Doctor Who apart from the massive swathes of things that he didn't know about that Stephen Moffat had to help him out with. But he knows everything about Doctor Who, and he's a massive fan, apparently. Allegedly. Even though he's shown no inclination to have anything to do with Doctor Who once he left.
No.
Which is weird.
I did ask him to come back and write an episode, but he said no.
Yeah. Weird. Just odd. Because I'm sure Moffat will come back and write episodes.
Possible.
Gatiss definitely will.
Oh, yeah.
Because after Chibnall...
He used to write his new adventures.
Yeah.
In between writing gigs because he was sick of having no money and he didn't like his dole officer. And that's how Pauline came about.
That's one way of... that is definitely one way of sorting out your money situation, to writing young adventures and new adventures and stuff. It's like Russell T Davies, he was writing those as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he did.
He wrote one, yeah. I know Gatiss wrote loads.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's I don't know if you know this, Mark Gatiss is a bit of a Doctor Who fan.
I never really noticed.
No, he never talks about it.
No.
I'm guessing after Chibnall he's going to be the next script editor.
Yeah.
Well, he can't be the next Doctor now, sadly. Even though I'd love him to be. Because, I mean, when he did the Lazarus thing, he totally Peter Davison. He was totally doing his Peter Davison. But there you go. Never mind. He will come back one day, I'm sure. Least favourite companion?
Adric.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
He's
because
not
the actor can't act, and I don't think he's ever acted in anything else since.
No, he's a novelist now. He writes novels and stuff.
Well, I've never really noticed. I don't really take that much attention to them.
I think he lives in Australia, or something like Canada or Australia, something like that he does. And he's quite...
Mark Strickson lives in Australia.
Who's that, sorry?
Mark Strickson.
Yeah, he does.
That was a good companion.
Nightmare for him, that must be.
Yeah.
Being the fairest skinned man in the world. He could never go out. Because constantly stuck in. But yeah, Turlo was great. I like Turlo. I think my least favourite. I think it's Clara.
Clara? Wow.
Clara past a certain point, yeah. I think she should have sort of... Once we found out who she was, that should have been it. Or maybe she should have left when Capaldi came around.
Yeah.
And stopped sticking around. I think she stuck around too long for me. Yeah, I think Clara probably isn't great.
I didn't like her ending.
No, I hate Ashildr. I hate that character because I don't like Maisie Williams. I just don't like Maisie Williams. It's just something...
That's why you don't watch Game of Thrones.
One of the many reasons, but the woman can't act. I'm sorry, she's Emma Watson to me. That sort of stage schooly. Oh look, I can act all old.
She's never been to stage school.
No, but she's got that air.
Yeah.
Of her, precocious. That's what it is. She's precocious, and I can't be doing with it. I just cannot be doing with it. It's when she was, like I say, when she was supposed to be immortal, so she equated hoity-toity with immortal. Thinking, no, that's not how. No. Matt Smith. If you want to know how to act old in a young body, Matt Smith. There you go. Or Peter Davison. That's how you do that. You don't just go, they know more than you. Oh no. So yeah, it's Clara's ending is a bit similar to Jenny, the Doctor's daughter's ending, where they're sort of, could we get a spin-off out of this? And it's like, no, you can't. Especially not Jenny. We don't need a spin-off of Jenny, thank you.
Yeah, I really thought she would have come back, but
not now. She's too busy raising the 4 children that the 10th Doctor gave her.
4 now?
It's 4 kids he's got, yeah, apparently. Did you ever see that thing with Peter Davison where somebody said, what's the weirdest thing a fan ever give you? It's at a convention, this one.
Yeah, and he said grandchildren.
Grandchildren, yeah. Awesome. But yeah, I don't like Ashildr. I can't. I like the episode where she's turned immortal, the one with the Maya. That was a good episode, especially where he sort of realises where his face comes from.
Yeah.
That was great. But I don't like her in the other episode. I think Rufus Hound was better than she was in the other episode.
Yeah.
That was nice for him anyway, because he's a massive Doctor Who fan. He's got a tattoo of a Dalek, I am told. But there you go. Groovy, right. Favourite story?
Favourite story so far, I think it's going to have to be Pandorica Opens.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Out of old Doctor Who, I think I'm going to have to go Battlefield.
I like Battlefield. It's Brig. Anything involving the Brigadier.
Yes, Brigadier. I forgot about him. Yes, he was I think out of all the characters, he wasn't a companion. Or would you class him as a companion?
I guess so, yeah, because obviously he's in the exile period, isn't he? So they didn't really have companions as such. But yeah, I'd carry part of the family, isn't he?
Yeah, I would say he would be out of all of the characters that's ever been in it. The Brigadier is the best.
He's the only person who can upstage a multi-Doctor story.
Yes.
Because the three Doctors should really be called the Brigadier flat down refuses to believe any of this is happening. What? Yeah. You've done it again! I don't know how you've done it, but you've done it! You're messing me around, Doctor!
On the Demons, that story, that was just the Brigadier that was just the Brigadier takes on the Master.
Yeah, and winning.
Yes.
Although the Master...
Beings there, 5 rounds rapid.
just shoot everything. Fuck it. I love it. I love the fact that Brigadier. I love the fact that he's in Remembrance of the Daleks as well. He's there, but he's not there in Group Captain Gilmore.
Yes.
Because he's just the Brigadier before the Brigadier, really.
Yeah.
Again, they got their own stories, their own audio stories.
Yeah.
Haven't heard them yet, but I do want to listen to those because they seem like they'd be fun. But oh yeah, the Brigadier for sure. I love the Brigadier. He's great.
Too sure about what they did with him in the Danny Pink Cyberman stories, Mrs. Cyberman stories, where he was rescued Kate from dying.
That was great. I love that personally. I want to see that spin-off. Brigadier just going around saving the world. 5 arm cannon shots, rapid. Because it just would. I mean, if anybody's going to break that conditioning, it's going to be the Brigadier, isn't it? No, I'm not listening to your conditioning. Sod that. I'm Brigadier Alistair Lethbridge Stewart. There's no way I'm going to listen to Cyberman conditioning. I was going to do what I want and flat down refuse to believe anything of this is happening.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I get the feeling that was Capaldi's idea.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line. Because that's his Doctor, basically, isn't it, Pertwee, as well?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. As for me, New Who, I always liked Utopia. That's one of my favourite ones. I think that's why Last of the Time Lords is such a letdown for me. Because Utopia's perfect and just showed everybody RTD can write this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was so clever and that just came out of nowhere. The fact that Yana was the Master, you just didn't believe it when you saw it. It's like, oh my, this is really good and a great cliffhanger, and it just got ruined.
Yeah, it's ruined by John Sim.
No, John Sim was great. I love John Sim as the Master. It's just, again, it's number one, Russell, the Doctor's not Jesus. He's not a Christ messianic figure. He's just a bloke with a box, as he said to Davros.
Man with a box.
The Gollum thing, I don't like it. It just stupid. And the stupidest thing about it was when the Master died to spite the Doctor. Well, he'd never do that. Two regenerations in, oh yeah, I'm just going to die to spite you. And you can go on about, oh well, he had a plan with the ring all along. Yeah, he wouldn't leave it to chance like that. I was just leaving it to chance, basically.
Yeah, it was.
He would have found a way out and then said, ha, Doctor. I mean, this is a guy who caught on fire and survived.
Yeah.
And then refused to tell anyone how he did it.
Yeah.
So he's not just going to go out like a bitch. And it's just the whole slash fic end. Oh, don't die. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just no. Don't do that, Russell. No, we could go around the universe together. Oh. Now, if you said it with Missy, I'd say, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do it.
Missy is absolutely insane and absolutely terrifying.
and wouldn't have worked had it been anyone but Michelle Gomez.
Yeah.
Because she is that. I mean, she's basically just playing a character in Green Wing.
Yes.
It's Sue White.
Sue White, yes.
That's it. She's just playing Sue White. And 12 is just her Mac, basically. And she's following around going la da 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 da, and I love it. And like I say, it wouldn't have worked had it been anyone but her.
Yeah.
Which I always give credence to the female doctor argument. I am completely up for a female doctor. Mm-hmm. Has to be the right person. Can't just be, oh, let's just cast X, Y, and Z because they're ladies. It won't work. Mm-hmm. And that's going to hurt it in the future because people will then say, well, such and such didn't work.
Rachel Weisz would be perfect as the Doctor.
She would be good. I always say Tilda Swinton, but there's nothing in it for her at the moment. Why would she do it? She will. One day, she totally will. And sadly, they've missed the boat with Helen Mirren because she would have made a good Doctor as well. I think. But one day. It will happen one day because there's precedent set now. Yeah. So we just need the right person. Not Olivia Colman, everybody. Just no. No, she's not right for it.
She's a character actor, not a leading actor.
Yeah, I agree. She'd make a good companion, but she'd been in it already anyway. Yeah. Not that that stops anyone from being the Doctor these days, but there you go. Favourite classic Who story for me? Oh, that's so difficult, but I think probably Vengeance on Varos. Because it just predicts so much. Yes. And it's got Ken Masters of Howell Wade in it. So, you know, that's always good. And Syl.
Yes, and lots of dark humour.
Yeah, and lots of death, like loads. Yeah. Like that ending is when they're in the vine pit. That's fucking horrifying.
That's when Harry gets turned into a bird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb. Stupid. And then the reveal of that fella in the mask is like, oh, okay, then I was expecting much worse than that. And you just, I thought it was going to be interesting, but no, it does have Syl. And Syl, well, again, we were talking about this on the podcast the other night, so we're saying, hang on a minute, horrifying, horrid, horrific, nasty businessman who wants to take over everything and just like sort of grosses everybody out. Oh, I can't think of anyone like that around today.
No, not at all.
And he's still acting as the Bill Shaban, so
yeah,
he could do it. He could do it. Get him back. Absolutely. Technically dead though. But to time machines and go back and unless the Time Lords have locked it out, but I don't think they go that far into it. But yeah, I love Vengeance on Varos. That's always a good one to watch, and I do like the 3 Doctors and the 5 Doctors.
Yeah,
it's stupid, but I like it. But speaking of stories, I'll have a quick bit of a conversation about this week's story, Oxygen, by Jamie Matheson.
Blind Doctor. Oh no,
he's blind. Well, how's that going to work out?
I can't think how it's going to work out. All I can think of is there's going to be a lot of people complaining. How dare you think that blind is the worst thing that could ever happen to somebody?
Somebody who has generally to use their sight to work out things.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get people complaining no matter what these days.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I think people think that they like to complain too much. But, the Doctor is now blind because he spent too long out of his helmet saving Bill.
Yeah.
Which is a very Doctor thing to do.
Oh, yes. He wouldn't be the Doctor if he just left her to die, as everybody thought he was going to do.
Yeah, I totally would have done. But
well, that's why you're not the Doctor.
I thought, why not just let Nardole do it, because he's 90% machine at this point anyway.
Yeah, I was wondering, why did he need a spacesuit?
I'm guessing his brain is still organic, isn't it? His head is still organic.
Yeah.
So he's technically a cyborg. Is Nardole, I think. To be fair, they've never really explained it. We know he's part robot, and that's about it, really. Which is good because it's nice to have a bit of mystery back in there. But it's another one of those episodes where Nardole is having a go at the Doctor because he's getting itchy feet because of Bill. So I'm guessing he's been without a companion for quite a while before this series.
Yeah.
He's been around for a long time at that. Well, I think they said 70 years at the university.
And nobody's noticed he hasn't aged yet.
Yes. I'm wondering if that's some sort of perception filter thing. The TARDIS just extending its perception filter.
Yeah.
So like nobody noticed. Like Professor Chronotis.
Yes.
From Sharda, that kind of situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So because
years and years.
Yeah.
University he was at, wasn't it? Or am I getting that wrong?
What's that? Sorry.
Chronotis, he was at Cambridge, wasn't he?
I think it was Cambridge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Cambridge. It's a good one. The good university. My girlfriend went to Oxford, so it's a good one. She won't listen to this. She might do. She does. I'm in trouble. But there you go. So pretty much like Professor Chronotis. Nobody's noticed that he's been there, and so nobody's noticed Nardol's a robot, even though part of him fell off in the first episode, which I thought was funny. I thought it was good. Matt Lucas, he's been great.
Yes, that's what I was saying last night. I thought. Was never really a big fan of Mark Lucas because of Little Britain. Because these characters were just... There was no storyline, it was just sketch after sketch.
Yeah.
No movement, and I thought, oh, God.
Broad strokes. Very broad strokes.
But in this, he's just really come to the fore.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He's been really understated as well. And I do like the fact that he tells the Doctor off because the Doctor told him to tell him off.
Yeah.
So he's following it. He's not doing a very good job of it, let's face it. But
yeah.
And what do we think of Bill?
Oh, she's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. She's everything you could want in a companion. Quirky, silly, goofy.
She's awkward.
Yes, awkward. She's one of us.
She's like twitchy and awkward, and just everything's wonderful. And I think that's what we're sort of missing with Clara, because it was kind of like Romana in her last season.
Yeah, and her face, it's so expressive. Her face, you go, oh shit.
Yeah. Whereas Clara just got more know than this. She got angry! But yeah, Pearl Mackie's great. I love Bill. I do like the fact that they sort of are addressing the lesbian thing very, very subtly as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not always brought up, but like in Knock Knock, she had to knock that guy back by saying, you're really not my type, because usually I'm into girls. And it's like, oh, okay then, that's fine, that's no problem. And there's nothing more was said of it. Wasn't a big thing, it was just a thing, and it's great. I keep wondering if her mum's got something to do with it, all of this. Or mum will be in it. I kind of hope she isn't. I kind of just want Bill to stand on her own 2 feet and not be special. That part of Moffat's writing I can understand people getting a bit narky with, because all companions have to be special.
All these companions so far have had missing mothers.
They've had missing mothers, and they have had something to do with the Doctor's history or the Doctor's future, and can't there just be someone he travels with? Like Nissa, you know?
Well, technically Rory was just somebody he travelled with, because he just happened to be connected to the one who had the crack in our wall.
Yeah, technically. But Donna wasn't, and Martha technically was, kind of. She Clara, obviously, she was a girl who saved him all the time, even in Dragonfire. More on that in another episode. But yeah, I like the fact that Bill kind of isn't special. She's just someone that he likes. Also, last week she called him grandfather, which I thought was very blessed. Yeah, it's nice to have that relationship, I think, with him. But yeah, like I say, this week's episode, I was reading a lot of sort of reviews of it, Oxygen. There's a lot of people in the comment section. You should never read the comment section, by the way. It's just blatant leftist BBC propaganda. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, all praise the company. It was just basically the Sunmakers, like an extension of the Sunmakers, where the company was all powerful, and if you didn't contribute, then they just switched you off.
Yeah.
It's basically their version of firing you.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is it a very Tom Bakery episode?
Very Tom Bakery. You could see the Sarah Jane and the Fourth Doctor in that.
I mean,
and even Harry, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That would have been good. But even the atmosphere and sort of the look of Ganymede Station was very Nerva Beacon as well.
Yeah, dark, very gloomy place.
Yeah, the lighting was very good. And I like the fact that they sort of, it's a twist on the generally accepted zombie sort of story, because they're not zombies at all, it's just baggage.
Yeah, it's just the suit doing the killing.
Yeah, literally it was the suits trying to kill them.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact they pointed that out as well. It has a sort of the Rebel Flesh sort of feel as well with the gangers.
Yes.
It's sort of, I don't know, sort of timeline-y where that's supposed to fit. Whether the gangers came first and the suits came second. I'm guessing the suits came first.
Yeah.
And then the corporate world went on to having artificial people instead of suits.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe it's the same time. I don't know. But I think it kind of worked. But yeah,
it's getting better and better.
Yeah. I mean, that's been a sort of thing throughout this whole season, though. Technology and AI controlling human lives. And I'm wondering if that's the sort of the running theme of the show, or whether it's just coincidence.
I'm not sure, because you get a lot of alarmist articles saying that everybody's going to be redundant soon because companies would rather have robots, and there's an insurance company in Japan that's just replaced its entire human staff with robotic call centres.
Great. Cybermen.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, thinking about it, obviously the big bad at the end of the season is supposed to be the Cybermen. The Mundassian Cybermen, no less.
Yeah,
the original, you might say.
Yes.
The ones that freak me out the most.
Yeah.
Because they've got human hands.
Yes, and the mouth opens
and then speech comes out.
Yes, and then closes again, and it's like, ooh.
See, I've not heard them speak, so I'm wondering, number one, is it Nick Briggs? I'm guessing it will be Nick Briggs doing the voices. Yeah. And will he be doing the Peter Hawkins, we will, blah, 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 that kind of, oh, no, I don't want that. That freaks me out.
Yeah, the metallic-y sing-song voice. Ugh.
Yeah. It's them and the Telosian Cybermen. They're the worst Cybermen.
Yeah.
They're the ones that freak me out the most. Because the 80s Cybermen, I think it's impossible to be freaked out by them.
Yeah.
Because by then they're giving them far too much personality.
Yeah.
But they can't appreciate a summer's day or a well-cooked meal. Oh my word. Eric Sayward, why would you write that? Oh yeah, well now you've said that, I'll go down to the Savoy Grill and eat some of Gordon Ramsay's lovely food. You've totally changed my mind, Doctor. There you go. What are you on about, well-cooked meal? Don't do that one. Earthshock has its problems. I do love it, but it has its problems. But,
That's I skip because because it goes back to Adric. I'm not really keen on that.
But he dies. You should like that one.
Yeah, I like the end.
Well, spoilers. I got told off the other day because I spoiled it. I'm like, hang on a minute, it's 40 years old. It's 35 years old, is Earthshock. How can you spoil it? How can you not know by now that Adric dies?
Yeah, it's like when somebody who's never seen Star Wars before and you're like, oh, I want to post this picture, can I?
I don't know how people do that. I don't know how you can get through your life. I know you can get through your life without watching Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. I don't know how someone can get through their whole life without watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
Even by accident.
Because it used to always be on telly in the 80s and 90s when we only had 4 channels.
Yeah. At Christmas or Easter.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back at Christmas and you'd get Star Wars at Easter.
Yeah.
So I don't know how people have avoided that for 40 years. I mean, I know someone who's like 50 odd and they've never seen Star Wars. I'm like, how? How have you not seen Star Wars? Anyway. But yeah, so now obviously we're 5 episodes in. Everyone has been critically acclaimed. Every episode. Which is cruel because it means that Capaldi's going to go out on a great season, which is brilliant. Mm-hmm. And galling at the same time. Because it means we're losing him.
I know, I don't want to go.
And Bill.
Is she going as well?
Apparently, yeah. Matt Lucas is definitely going. He said he didn't do it any more than what he's doing. But apparently, yeah, Bill's going.
Oh.
I'm guessing she goes right at the end of the season, and then we've got the Christmas special with the rumoured First Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's pretty accepted that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
which is cool. I really am looking forward to that, because David Bradley did such a good job portraying William Hartnell, and the bits that he did as the Doctor were really good.
Yeah, they were. I loved that. That was pretty Onion in the time as well, that programme. Adventure in Time and Space.
I didn't cry at the end.
I did, sorry.
I might have cried twice, actually.
Yeah.
There was 2 times. It was that I don't want to go, and it's like, oh no! He said what Tennant said! And then there was a bit where he looks across and Matt Smith's there. And I suppose there's 3, because Reece Shearsmith, Patrick Troughton made me want to cry.
Yeah.
Oh, word. No, please let's not have him ever do that again, shall we? Oh, that was awful, because it's just like Reece Shearsmith in a really bad wig. It just broke the magic for me for that second. It's like, oh no, don't, no, why would you? Although I did like the, I don't know if you ever seen the picture that they didn't release was the 3 Doctors, was Gatiss was 3.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever see that picture?
Yeah, I have.
That was great. I don't think he can do the voice, though, which is a shame. I tell you who can do the voice, and whose impression of him is better than the impression of the 4th Doctor. Culshaw.
Yes, Culshaw, he's brilliant. Oh, he was Donald Trump at an exhibition a couple of weekends ago. He was a model for some makeup artists, and they turned him into Trump.
Oh, wow. Any good?
Yes, and then he did the voice. Oh my god.
Was he the best Trump? Was he the best Trump ever?
Yeah.
He does the Trump, oh the Trump, the best Trump.
When I find the pictures, I'll send you them.
Oh, cool. I got all the words. The best way. You get the best words. Got the best ratings. Oh yeah, you got to do it with the hands as well. So I'm actually doing the hands as the tiny, tiny hands. But there you go. Oddly enough, not many people do Theresa May impressions. Probably because she's so fucking bland, because evil is banal. There we go. But yeah, he did something for some YouTuber who does impressions and stuff, and this guy does a really good David Tennant, but even better Matt Smith, and I will post the link to it actually later on, because he does the whole curator thing. You know, I really think you might. So he does that. Tom Baker, and then just to the side of when that's happening, you get Tennant and 3 having a bit of a chat, and his John Pertwee is better than his Tom Baker, and his Tom Baker's pretty good. It's endorsed by the man himself, so it must be pretty good. But his Pertwee, if they ever bring or they ever want to do Pertwee back, and Sean won't do it apparently, which is a shame, because he looks so much like the 3rd Doctor now.
Yeah, dressed up as his dad for Halloween.
That was amazing. And it's like, wow, that's really spooky. But if they can't get him back, get Culshaw to do it.
Yeah.
Because that would be... I'd love to see the 3rd Doctor back in something. Imagine the 3rd Doctor just chewing out the rest of them, telling them off.
Oh, God. I've got that in my head now.
That'd be great. I was watching the 3 Doctors the other day. It's when he shouts at Joe, "Do as I say!" It's like, Jesus, all right. Fucking hell. Bloody hell. Alright, John. Calm down, fella.
They're done with the 11th Doctor. Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be good. Or 3rd and 12th.
Yes.
He's constantly shouting and bickering at each other. But that'd be awesome. But if they can do an audio drama, because I know Tennant, obviously, he did the Big Finish stuff not so long back, which is good, by the way.
Yeah.
Plus more Donna Noble, which is always a good thing. I would love to do a multi-Doctor story with him and like sort of the 4th Doctor.
Yeah.
Because the one they did for the 50th, the light at the end, that's really good. Because 8 and 4 team up on that one. It's like, that's pretty much what I would do.
Yeah.
Get them 2 to team up, and then 7 and 6 and 5. Because oddly enough, Colin Baker and Peter Davison and Sylvester McCoy sound pretty much the same as they did.
Yeah, they do.
That's why we're kind of lucky with the Doctors we've got, because none of them, their voices haven't really aged.
Oh, I noticed Colin Baker was at a convention recently.
Really? He never goes to this.
And he's lost quite a lot of weight.
Well, that's why he did The Jungle. You remember when he did The Jungle a few years back? That's the reason he wanted to do it, because he wanted to do Panto. And he said, to do that really well, I need to lose a bit of weight. So the best thing to do, go out to the jungle, not eat for a few days, and see if I can keep the weight off. And he has done.
Yeah, he looks canny.
Yeah, he looks good. I love him. He's great. He's the nicest. Out of all the Doctors, he has the most right to not want to have anything to do with the show.
I know, well, it wasn't his fault, it was...
Grade.
Yes.
And Powell. And J&T didn't stick up for him.
Yeah.
Ultimately. But yeah, out of all the Doctors, he is the most right, but he's never taken it out on the fans.
Yeah.
He always does stuff for the fans, which is awesome. But...
his show, his Doctor could have been absolutely brilliant if we're just getting better writers.
Well, yeah, we know that. If J&T had actually said to old writers, "Oh, tell you what, let's not stick with these new guys who don't know what they're doing. Let's get some like Robert Holmes in to do some good stuff, and Terrance Dicks and stuff like that." Because all his audio adventures, they keep getting voted as the best adventures.
Yeah.
And it's because he's playing it as he wanted to play it, which is slightly dark and a little bit nastier than some of the other Doctors. And what McCoy became basically is dark, not a dark manipulator as such, but certainly a bit darker than the other Doctors were, which is cool. Excellent stuff. So we're looking forward to the next one, which is Veritas, I think it's called.
Yes.
And it's the start of the I think they're calling it the Monks trilogy. So he gets invited to the Vatican by the Pope to do stuff. It's a bit Dan Browney, as far as I can tell. A bit Da Vinci Codey.
No, I've got more of the Omen vibe from the beginning of the Omen with the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bit of that. Oh gosh.
But if you read it, you die.
Yeah.
Of course, the Doctor can't do that now. So that's good. And you also see the River Songs book as well.
Yes.
That makes an appearance. So I'm looking forward to it. I genuinely don't know where this series is going. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, we can't see it this time round.
Yeah.
It's blatantly obvious with Russell T Davies stories where it was going to go.
Well, yeah, because you had the Torchwood season where every other word was Torchwood.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck me. All right, Torchwood, I get it.
And then with the Silence arc, it was like, you tied that up within one sentence at the very end.
Yeah.
I thought, you clever bastard, Moffat. You clever bastard.
That's one thing I can't bear is the Moffat hate. It winds me up so much. It's like, just when you're slagging off Moffat and his inability to write women, just think of Love and Monsters, everybody.
Yes, I think that's got to go down as the worst story ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, because
one from my memory.
It's because it's just a punchline.
Yeah.
And the punchline is having oral sex with a paving slab.
Yeah, it's just ugh.
It just makes me feel dirty.
Yeah.
It's just an awful episode, and Mark Warren deserved better than that.
Yeah, he did.
Because Mark Warren's great.
Yeah, he was brilliant in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
All right, okay. I didn't see that actually. I saw him in Life on Mars.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, he was good in Life on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
As that gangster character that supposedly kills Ann Tyler. But he was great in that, and like I say, he was quite good in the Dracula thing as well.
Yeah.
That he did, and he's like, oh, you deserve so much better out of an episode than what you got, because and Shirley Henderson and Simon Greenall,
yeah,
and Peter Kay, which I always forget Peter Kay's in it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Peter Kay can act, and he was just not called on to act in that episode whatsoever.
Bloody stand-up comedian.
And all because, I mean, the worst thing about it, and the Absolver was written or was designed by a child.
Yes.
And the ultimate
competition, I believe.
Yeah. And the ultimate aim of that whole episode was to do a joke about a paving slab giving oral sex. I mean, wow, that's kind of inappropriate when you think about it.
Yeah.
Terrible, but awful. But we will go into that in much more depth, I'm sure, in a future episode. But that's the first episode of Nerva Beacon. Please do leave your feedback, what you would like to see in the future, because like I say, we're both a couple of fans who know, I hope, a little bit about the programme.
Yeah, quite fair, I think.
I think we've shown in this episode we know quite a bit, because we're sad nerdy types who live in our basements and pretend it's the TARDIS. Which is going to get easier when that TARDIS lava lamp comes out.
Funnily enough, a friend of mine has a friend who had their basement decorated as the TARDIS.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yes, and then they had to get rid of it to sell the house.
Boo! Boo!
House with the TARDIS in the basement.
Oh, that would be cool, though.
Apart from me. And you, probably.
Well, yeah. We totally want that. I just go around pressing buttons all the time. Because apparently that's what that's what Capaldi does in the TARDIS set.
Yeah.
He plays his guitar he goes in like an hour before everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll sit down, he'll play his guitar for a bit, and he'll go around the console just flicking switches and talking to himself.
As the Doctor would do.
As the Doctor would do, because he is the Doctor. Quite literally, but in his head I'm guessing he is the Doctor, which is cool. Great stuff. Leigh, if anybody wanted to find you on the internet, what's the best way of doing that?
At the moment, Instagram.
There you go. What's your Instagram?
Leigh.wildtime.
There
As
you
in
go.
Iris Wildtime.
Oh yes, well obviously, of course, why would it not be?
Yeah.
If you want to find me on the internet, you can do so by going to Facebook and typing in Glenn Jakemans, that's GLENNJAKEMAN. If you want to find me on the old the Twitter, that's the one, Twitter, it's at Cymru Nerd Cave, so that's at Cymru as in Wales, the place, and then Nerd Cave as in Nerd Cave. That's probably the best place to find us, and also the usual places on Back to the 80s, because that's a good way of getting in touch with us. I will set up other things like a Twitter for this podcast as well, that both me and Leigh will have access to at some point, I am sure, and other stuff as well. But this has been the sort of inaugural episode of Nerva Beacon. Thanks for listening. Say bye, Leigh.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.